Honey sold to PayPal for $4 billion and it is a browser extension company. Grammarly raised a 90 million at a $1 billion valuation. It is a browser extension company. Taucan also recently raised 3 million and then another $4.5 million from investors. It is also a browser extension company. So today we will be building $1 million startup. We will be creating a color picker browser extension. Maybe it will also reach some couple of millions. Even if you don't want to create next $1 billion company, still you can learn this and get a high paying job in a tech company. So let's get started.
Hi, my name is Devo Sajimal and I am a final year engineering student at Indian Institute of Information Technology, Vadodara, and an upcoming software engineer at one of the biggest companies in India. And on this channel, I create videos related to web development, tutorials, tips and tricks, and other informative videos for students and working professionals in tech. So if you are interested in these topics, make sure you subscribe to this channel.
So for creating an extension, we need a manifest.json file .json. So this file will have all our Chrome extensions information such as its name, its description, version. If you are providing any icon, then it can have icon and action. Okay. Manifest underscore version. So let's write this as play. The name of the extension will be color picker. Description of, you can skip description, but I'm writing it here. Color picker extension. Color picker extension with multiple color picking and comma saving and exporting. So you can take a RGB color or you can take export of the color, anything. Now the version of the of our extension will be 1.0. So action will be default pop-up and it will be index.html. Okay, and after that we will have icon. So for icons, I will have to create some icons. Here we have to put comma, and for icons, I will go online and pick some color picker icon tree. So I will be using this image as the icon. Write it here. So since our icon is of 512 cross 512, so we will type here 512 our icon name, so icon.png. That's it. Now we will create our index.html file, so index.html, and here we will type doc type. From here we will change the title to color picker. So let's link our style sheet, and href will be file.css, and we will also import our JavaScript file. So to this script, not this one, script source, and it will be index.js. Let's create both of those files. So style.css and index.js. Now let's also have our, so inside the body we will first of all create a container to div. So here's our container, and after that we also want our picker class. So picker, and inside that we want our two buttons for color pick and for exporting the colors. So for that we will have button with the ID of picker btn, and we will say pick color, and the next button will be button, its ID will be export btn, its name will be export color. After that, let's save this, and yeah, we have got our two buttons for pick color and for export color. So you can install this extension live server preview, which is it should be here. Yeah, this one, live server preview. So you can install this extension to have this kind of, so that you can also see in real time changes. Okay. So along with the picker, we also want to have the history of the colors which we have selected, so that we can select multiple colors. So for that, we will have class of color list, and initially it will be hidden. Okay. and it will have a header of p tag of class name as title, and the title will be picked color. And we also want to have a clear all button. So for that we will have a span, and it will have ID of clear VPN. We will say clear all so that we can remove our colors, previously selected colors. And to show the color, we will use an unordered list. So for that, we will use UL, and here we will have a class name, and here we will have a class of all color. So initially it will be empty. Okay, so work of our HTML is done, and now we can move to our. If we want to change something, we can come back later. So in while styling, we will set everyone's style to be initially all the margins will be zero. So margin will be zero for everyone, and for padding, we will also set it to be zero. Okay, now let's say okay, good. Now for box sizing, we will have border box and container. For our container class, we will have background color. So let's check if it is working or not. Let's check with aquamarine and let's say, okay, yeah. So our CSS is also connected successfully. Just confirming. So we can maybe remove this color and add some cool color. So for that, I will add this hashtag artifact, but then we can select maybe this color. Maybe we can choose this color, okay? For our background, the width should be 350 pixels of our container. Yeah, it's good. And for container, where picker header dot all colors, we will have display as flex, align item center. Let's save. Okay, good. Now after that, for our container, for our container and picker, we all want its padding to be 35 pixels and 0 to 35 pixels on top and bottom and 0 on right and left, and the background color of maybe we can choose this background color only for header and here, and for this we will have hashtag FFF. Okay, good. And justify content to be center. Come on, center. Okay, good. Okay, so now it is done. Then we also want our picker class and picker ID, picker BTN to have margin right to be of let's say 10 pixels. Yeah, okay. We want our picker and picker button, comma, picker hashtag for export button 2. We also want border to be none, and we want outline to be none. Okay, and we want its color to be, maybe we can choose this a little lighter color like this, and we can choose the color of button to be a little darker. So for that, let's have color of this to be white, and the background color will be this color, but it will be a little darker, maybe a lot darker. Now we also want some padding, and we also want size to be increased. So let's have cursor to be pointer, font size to be 1 rem. Let's have padding of maybe 5 pixels on top and bottom and 10 pixels on right and left. Yeah, this looks good. Let's also add a little transition. So for that, we'll have transition with all for 0.3 seconds. We will have ease transition, so like this. What I also want is when I go over this, it should have little more darker color. So I will just copy this from here. I will go here. I'll paste this here on our background color to be a little more darker. More darker. So when I now go, okay, maybe I can increase the size of button to be 10 pixels. And now we want to style this picked color and clear all to be left and right and a little bit of margin and Maybe we can change the font or little bit like this. So for color list, we want to have a margin of 10 pixels on top and bottom and 15 pixels left and right. Okay, good. Now for the header, that is pick color for both the headers. So color list, we want space between. So justify content, space between. Now let's save. Okay, good. And after that, we want to have our title. So header, title. So font size will be 1 gram. Font size, yeah, that's correct. But class is title, yeah, that is correct. So now let's file our clear button. So clear BTN. Sorry, clear BTN is an ID. What I want is we want it font size to be 0.9 rem, and we want our cursor to be pointer equals Z, and we want its color to be color of this. Yes, this looks good. And now when I hover over this, it's a pointer. Maybe we should use some Google font. So the world famous font Roboto, we can use Roboto. So we will import this from Google font and paste it over here. So now we can have a good font and our and from here we will have font family of Roboto or sans serif, and this looks already good now. Maybe we should have done this earlier. But yeah, that's okay. It looks good now. So I also want header hashtag clear BPN on our it to be have a little darker color or darker, but maybe we should have the same color scheme. Yeah, this looks good. Now for color list. So color list we will have for all colors black wrap as wrap list style to be none. I don't want any dots in front of it. Margin to be 10 pixels on top, 0 pixels on right, 0 pixels on bottom. This is our styles.css. Our styling is also done. Now we will move to our index.js. So now our HTML is done, our CSS is done, and now it's time to move on to our JavaScript. So first of all, we want access to our pick color button, export color button, clear all button, and we also want access to our list of colors. Grab those. So const pick picker btn, which is equals to document dot query selector, and the name of our button is picker btn. Maybe we will just go here and we will copy this id hashtag this as this is id. Now we want to have const export btn. So export btn equals to document dot query selector. For that, we want this ID. So hashtag this one. Now we also want clear all buttons. So const clear btn equals to document dot query selector with the clear button. Yeah, there's ID. So we will take this ID. Hashtag this ID. And we also want access to our color list. So color list is well all colors. Const color list equals to document dot query selector, and since this is a class, so we will use dot. Now we want to have our list of colors, so for that we will use an array. So let picked colors equals to, if we have color in our local storage, then we will use those, otherwise we will initialize with the empty array. So for that we will use json dot parse. What we have to parse, we have to parse local storage dot get item, and we want to have color list. Otherwise, if we don't have any colors, then we will initialize with an empty array. Now let's save. To keep track of current color, we will say current pop up equals to null. Initially it will be null. So now we will write our function to copy the color, that is the name hex code, to our clipboard. So for copying it to clipboard, we have to write the function, and that is const copy to clipboard, which will be a async function, and we will pass the text and the element, and this will be an arrow function. After that we will try to write, and if we could not, then we will catch the error. We will alert that failed to copy text, but if we can do, then we will await navigator dot clipboard dot write text, and we will write the text which we have got, and then element dot inner text will be equals to copied for our message, and we will then reset word element text after 1 second. So set timeout with the arrow function, element dot inner text will be now equals to text after 1 second. Okay, this is done. Now we will create a function to export the color from as a text file. When we click on this button, we should be able to export the colors in a text file. So for that, we will use export color function. Come on, const export color. It will be a arrow function, and here we will have a const color text equals to picked colors dot. We want to get all the colors in new line. So for that, we will join /n \n, and so now we will have all the colors in new lines. Now we want to create a blob. So const blob is equals to new blob, and we will give it an array of color text, and we will give it a type of plain. Okay, const URL will be URL dot create object URL, and the object is our blob. Const a equals to document dot create element, and our element is a dot href equals to URL. A dot download will be equals to name of the file. We want it to be colors.txt. Document dot body dot append child to be a, and a dot click. After that, we will have document dot body dot remove child, and the child is a. After that, we will have URL dot revoke object URL to be URL. So here we have defined our export function, which stores our arrow function, and here we have our color text. So what pick color dot join does is it takes the array, and it converts this into a string and joins \n after every element, so that we can get all the elements in new line. So the blob is a raw data container which takes first argument as the array which contains the data, and the second object it takes is a type of the data. Currently we have text as our type of data, so here the type is text, and here the URL dot create object URL generates a unique URL which represents this blob object. And here we are generating an anchor tag. So this kind of tag, you might have seen this kind of tag, which is used for hyperlinks. We are setting the href attribute of our a object to be the URL which we have generated for the blob object. So this makes the anchor element a point to the location of the text file. Okay. Now a dot download is equals to colors.txt. It names our file which will be downloaded as colors.txt. So it will set the download attribute file name to be colors.txt. So this line appends a tag element to the document body. So this step is necessary to make the link clickable. And a dot click, so this line triggers a click event on a element which initiates the download process of the file automatically. It happens automatically. So when you type a dot click, it will click it automatically. So after that we have document.body.remove child a. So this line removes a element from the document body once the download is complete. So this step is optional, but we will be doing this for cleanup purpose. So we will remove this side, and after that we have URL revoke object. So this line releases the URL object. With the revoke object URL, we will free up the space which will be taken up by this URL for cleanup purpose. Now let's move forward. Let's save this. Now we want to create our color pop-up. So whenever we click on a color, it will have a pop-up of that will be of kind square kind of thing, and it will have a background color set as the color which we pick. Okay, so for that we will be writing our function as color pop-up. Color pop-up, it will be a arrow function, and here we will pass the color, and after that you will have const pop up equals to const pop up equals to document dot create element, and it will be div pop up dot class list, and we will add color pop up to our class list. After that we will have pop up dot inner html equals to backticks, and we will write some html here, so make sure you don't make any mistake. Class will be equals to color pop-up, content span will be equal to class equals to close pop-up, and we will have nothing inside this, so we will remove this span and have x inside here. After that we will have a div will have a class equals to color info, div will be equals to, let's have a class equals to color preview, and we will have set a style as its background to be equal to dollar and the value which we get, so that is color. Now after that we have our div, so we will take this div and take it here. After that we will, let's decrease its size because it is not required now, and we will have one another div for our color details. So here class will be equal to color details, and it will have two values. So for that we will use div class equals to color value will be equals to class, and that will be label, and here we will have hex value, so hex, and the another span will have the actual hex code. So class will be value hex, and it will have data color equals to dollar our color, and here we will write the color. So here our hex value is done. Now we want to have our RGB value. So for that we will use this div, just copy and paste this div here. Color value will be the same. Label will be not RX, it will be RGB, and span value it will be RGB, and data color will be color, and we will use a function which will be hex to RGB, and we will pass in the color. So this is capital T. So this is our hex to RGB color converter function. This will convert our hex color to RGB color format. And after that, we will close this div, we will close this div, and this div. Okay, cool. Now let's move forward. Now let's add a close button inside our pop-up so that we will be able to close the pop-up. So for that, we will say const pop-up, we will say close pop-up will be equals to pop-up dot query selector. Now it will be close pop-up dot add event listener, and the listener will be click. It will listen for a click, and we will have arrow function which will remove our child. So document dot body dot remove child, and with child the pop-up. Okay, why is this? Okay, here is the comma. And our current pop-up will be null. Now we will be adding a event listener to copy the color values to our clipboard, and for that we will go down and we'll say const color values equals to pop-up dot query selector all the value, and color value dot for each value we will have value dot add event listener, and this listener will be of type click, and it will have an event passed to it, which will have the values. So const text will be e dot current target dot inner text, and we will call our function which we have created here, copy to clipboard. This function we will pass the text and the element, copy to clipboard, and our text is text, element is e dot current target, return pop-up. So we will return the pop-up, and pop-up is a div. Okay, so don't forget that. Now we will add a function to display our picked color. So for that we will have our const show colors equals to an arrow function, and it will have a color list dot inner html will be equals to picked colors dot map all the color to be a list item. So for that we'll use backtick, and we will have li list item. We will add class as color. We will have span class equals to rect and rectangle, and style will be equals to again background, and it will be dollar sign color. Okay, and our border will be 1 pixel solid hashtag sorry dollar color. If it is equals to tag hash f, then we will have border color as hashtag ccc, else we will have color as our border color. Okay, cool. Where is the span? Okay, here is the span. Now let's go to another line, and here we will add another span, and this span will be for showing the color x value. So for that we will use span class will be value x value. So x data color is equals to dollar color. Dollar will be our color. Okay, that is okay. Maybe we should remove this function, as this is only a single line, and we will just use join as empty. Const color element equals to document dot query selector all, and we will select all the color element dot for each list item. We will have our const color x equals to li dot query selector, that is dot value and dot hex, and we will have color hex dot add event listener, and that will be of type click, and the event will be passed which will have the info. So now const color is equals to e dot current target dot data set dot color and current pop-up. If we have current pop-up open, and then we will say document dot body dot remove. If we have current pop-up as true, that means we have a current pop-up, we will say remove document dot body remove child current pop-up, because we want to take another color, and we will say const we will create a new pop-up. So create color pop-up, and we will pass the color. After that we have document dot body dot append child, and we will append our pop-up new pop-up, and we will have current pop-up set to pop-up current pop-up. Okay, the new pop-up we have created. Now we will have const picked color container, which will be equals to document dot query selector, and it will have a query selector of dot colors list picked color container dot class list dot toggle. We want to toggle the hide on the basis of picked colors dot length, which will be 0. Now, as I remember, we have used hex color converter to convert our hex to RGB color. Here it is, but we haven't written this function yet. So let's write this function now. So for that, we will use const hex to RGB, which will have our hex code, and we will convert and return the RGB color. So this you can go online and see how X to RGB works. So I will just write here and I will explain. Just wait. So parse int x dot slice, and we will take the second part of the slice. It will be 16. So the 16 will be the base of the number. Const r will be equals to big int, and we will see 255. Same for g. Const rg equals to big int 8 and 255. Const b equals to big int. It will be and with just 255, and we will return RGB dollar R comma dollar G comma dollar B. So we'll return this RGB. So here we are using parse int to convert a string into an integer, and we are using x dot slice. So we will just remove hash from our string, and we will use the numbers, and we are converting that number to a base of 16, because the 16 specifies that the input is in base 16 hexadecimal format. Okay, now const r equals to big int 16. So we are just using bitwise right shift operator, and it will right shift the numbers we have got from parse int into big int. We are just using right shift bitwise right shift operators. So it will right shift the bits 16 times, and we will, and after using and operator, we will get 8 least significant bits, which represents the R value. And here we are again using bigint, and here this time we will be right shifting 8 times all the bits after using AND operator. So we will get the least significant 8 bits, which represents the green color. And again we are using big int, and after using AND operator we will get the blue color. So after that we are just using and returning those values. If you don't understand this, then that's okay, just use this. Now we will write our function to activate our color picker. So const activate Eyedropper, which will be async arrow function. We will say document dot style, document dot body dot style dot display equals to none. We will say try, and we will say catch. We will have catch err. If there is some error, we will catch that. Otherwise, we will try. So const. So we will open the eyedropper, and we will retrieve the colors. So it will be const srgbx, which will be equals to await new eyedropper dot open, and if is not picked colors dot include srgb hex, then we will say picked colors dot push srgb hex. If we don't have our the color selected, then we will take the new color. Okay, so only new colors are added, no colors will be repeated. And we will local storage dot set item colors list json dot stringify print color. So we will store them in the local storage, and we will show colors. In the catch block we will have alert. So we will say fail to copy color code. And finally clause say is document dot body dot style dot display will be equals to block. Okay, so now we want to write some clear all functionalities. So for that we'll say const clear all equals to an arrow function, not this, an arrow curly braces, and we'll say picked colors is now equals to empty array local storage dot remove item. Which item we want to remove? We want to remove colors list, and then we will again say show colors. Finally we will attach these functions to our buttons. So whenever we click on them, we will have some functionalities. So for picker button dot add event listener, we want to have click. So whenever we click on this button, we want to say activate eyedropper. For clear all button dot add event listener, clear button dot add event listener. So on click we want to have clear all colors. And for export color, so export button dot add event listener. For the click we want to have export color function attached to it. After that, we want to call, so we want to display pick color on document load. So for that, we will show color by default. And yeah, this should work now. So this code is working perfectly fine. And now there is uh, some things we have will have to change because it is not showing color properly. So we will have to design it to make it look good. So first of all, for all colors and for color, we will have display flex and cursor will be pointer here on that. Margin bottom will be of 10 pixel and the width will be, we will have to calculate width, so it will be 100% divided by 3. Okay, and for all colors, their rect, we want their height to be 22 pixels and their width to be 22 pixels. So we want the square and we want display to be block, margin on the right to be 3 pixels, border radius to be 3 pixels. Okay, good. Now let me check. But for we also want for all colors to have some more changes. So all colors and dot color pan. We want font size to be 0.86 rem and font weight to be 500 and text transform to be uppercase. Okay, cool. Now we select this color. Okay. Now we select this color. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so till now we have created this. So color picker, when you click on pick color, it you can choose to pick color, let's say like this. This red color, and this has some issues. We will solve it later. Uh, Fill to copy the color code. Okay, and here we have got the color. So when you click on this, you get the hex code and the RGB values, and you can, let's say, pick more colors. So let's pick this color, and you got another one. You can again copy more color. You got this color, and you can click on this to cancel it out. When you pick more color, let's say like this, and you pick more color, this blue color, so you get like this. You can export the colors and you can see the text txt file with all the x values of the colors, and you can clear all. So, so all the colors get cleared out. Now we have to solve that to filled color issue, and we have to make this pop-up look good. Okay, we want to show our color pop-up. So for that we will go to our style.css, and here we will say position to be fixed, top will be 52 pixel, left will be 50%, and transform translate to be negative 50%, comma negative 50%, its width to be equal to 300 pixels, background color to be equal to hashtag FFF, border radius to be 5 pixels, box shadow to be have 0, 2 pixels, 4 pixels, RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.2, and Z index to be 999 so that it remains on top of everything. Okay, let's again refresh and pick the red color. Okay, good. Now when we click on this, we get this kind of color, but we don't get color in the background, so that is a little issue we will have to fix. So we have solved this background color issue. So whenever the color create color pop-up is called, we will have to remove div from here. So initially div was here, so it was just starting and just getting closed. So we have to wrap the div around this content. Okay, so now the div is here. Initially this div was here. So just take it out from here and paste it here so that it wraps this content. After that, let's go to our styles.css and do some styling of our pop-up. So dot color pop-up content padding to be 20 pixels and dot color dash info to be equal to display flex align items center dot color preview, so its width will be 50 pixels, height will be same 50 pixels, border radius to be 5 pixels and margin right. Let me test it now. So let's see, I took this blue color. I click on this. Okay, this looks okay. Now we want to do some color detail. Color detail flex to grow and flex grow to be 1. Color value class to have display flex and align items center margin bottom to be 5 pixels. Label to have font weight of bold margin right to be of 5 pixels. Let's reload and let's test again. Okay, looks a little okay, but still there are issues. Now let's have value to be cursor, pointer, and span dot color close pop up to be font size 14 pixels, cursor, pointer, and float to the right. Let's have background color to be red and color to be hashtag FFF and border radius to be 50%. So now when we take some color, let's take this blue color and when we click on this, this looks okay. Width to be 12 pixels, height to be 12 pixels. Now let's do this again. Maybe not 12, let's make it 22. And let's make font size to be bigger to let's say 19. Okay, cool. But we have some issue with showing the colors. So for this background, we don't want it to go till there. Color details, we want hex value, but we also want to wrap this. So let's copy Control X. Let's paste this here only and let's save and let's again save. Let's go pick color. Let's pick some color and let's say okay and let's see. Okay, now it looks good. So we don't have to copy that div to there, but the div will stay here only and we will have to do some styling. So that is what we have already done. And yeah, so now this looks good. I will just show you. So this is what currently it looks like. So go to pick color, pick any color, let's say blue. This issue we have to resolve, and when you click on this, you get the hex code. This is copied, this is copied. You can close this. You can pick more colors. So let's say this color, and this is also copied. These are the RGB values, and this is the hex code. Okay, so let's not show the picked color and clear all button initially. So for that, we will go here and color list. We will say color list, hide, and we will say display to be none. Okay. Now initially we will not show the so color list dot hide display to be none. So it doesn't show clear all and all those buttons at the start. So when you finally choose some color, then only it will show. There is some garbage. Maybe we should just remove this. We can show. Okay, so I found the error, and the error was in the selecting the class. So the class name was color list, not colors list. So make sure to watch that. And now maybe we can add this, and let's refresh and let's add now. Check this color. Okay, good. So now this is working perfectly fine. So I will just show you all the code, what we have coded till now. So this is the HTML file, only this much. You can have some reference if your code is not working, then just check it out from here. I will increase the size if you want. And this is our CSS code. You can take a look. If your code is not working, then you can just compare it with mine. Okay. And this is our JavaScript file. So here we have got access to some buttons. Here we have created our pick color variable. Here we have copy to clipboard function. Here we have export color function. Here we have create color pop-up function. So here just make sure you are writing this properly, or you may check, you may get this from my GitHub. I will push this to my GitHub and link down in the description, my GitHub repo. So you can have this. And after that, here's the close button. Here's the clipboard. Here is show color function. Here is hex to RGB converter. Here is activate eyedropper. Here is a clear all function, and we have attached all the functions to the buttons, and initially we have called show color function. Now I will show you the demo of the application, final demo. Are you ready? So click on the extension. Let's click on pick color. Let's get this blue color. Okay, we got that. Let's pick one more color. So let's pick like this yellow, this green color, yellow color. We have got this. Let's pick some green color. So here's the green color. Let's pick one more color. Let's say this color. Let's pick one more color. Let's say this waves color. Okay, cool. You can pick many more colors like this. You can clear all or you can export color. So when you export, then this file will get exported as colors. When you save, when you open the colors file, here are all the X values, and you can just pick more. And you can clear all, so all the colors get cleared. And yeah, that's it. Add this extension to our Chrome browsers. You go to extension, manage extension. Here click on load unpacked and go to your folder where you have saved this folder. So I will go to my folder. Here is users, here is users, the project YouTube, cancel, load unpacked, color picker, select your uh, project name, project folders. My project folder name is color picker, and here it is. Color picker is now added with the name as color picker, version as 1.0, some description, and here is ID, and here is our image. So let's refresh this, and from here you can add this color picker to your browser, and when you refresh, you can just close this. Okay, now on your web page, you can just click on this. Okay, so I hope you like this video and you have learned something new, something cool. That will be awesome. Just like this video, share this video with your friends, and yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more future videos. Bye.